All right, welcome everybody. It is Boba Fett Wednesday, and I felt like I just watched an episode of Luca. I did not realize that Tatooine is the world's largest or galaxy's largest importer of fine Italian Vespa speeders. Um, that was, something else. Someone's gonna have to talk me off the ledge here because I like to stay pretty positive about a lot of things, but I'm starting to feel the missteps here with the Book of Boba, and let's kind of dive into a little something here. And like, I hope this isn't the first. I know this is directed by Robert Rodriguez, but Jon Favreau is also the writer and executive producer. And so far, it's been a bunch of meh. And, not to bury the lead, this is probably the weakest episode yet. And probably weaker than any other Mando episode. This is, I was not a fan. Maybe I'm just super tired. But, anyways, let's get into it. First off, just Boba himself. I've mentioned this in some of the past reviews. Just something feels off. Like he's tired. He indecisive. Like he doesn't feel like he wants to be this gangster leader. Who's forcing him to do it? Obviously the showrunners are, but like Boba, I don't know. It's just I don't get it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like Boba's just his attitude, everything about him just screams doesn't want to be, doing what he's doing. He's just I don't know. I kind of lack he doesn't there's no passion behind what Boba and his actions. Everything's reactive to everything going around him. And it's not what, the character of Boba Fett, I think a lot of people, were looking for. So we have Boba. We're still doing the split timeline thing. And in the past timeline, that storyline was okay. We still got, some more Tusken Raider action. So, so far this is the book of Tuskens. Yes, it was a touching moment when the speeder gang, the swoop gang, obviously murdered the tribe. He had saved him. Well, I guess imprisoned him and then saved him, and then he learned their respect for, and then he helped them. They were all slaughtered, very reminiscent of the stormtroopers slaughtering Luke's aunt and uncle with him off doing something, and comes back to find that they're gone. It was obviously the symbols painted there, so we know it's the swoop gang, so we know that's, I guess, is going to be his main antagonist in the in the flashbacks anyways. Yeah, so Pat, I'm not too into the first two episodes. Tired of hanging out with Raiders, getting a little boring. Exactly. I couldn't have. It's just boring. It's not exciting. It's like if I wanted 3 episodes of Tusken lore, give that to me in a comic or a book so that some YouTuber could buy it, read it, the highlights. Like when we were promised the book of Boba Fett, and Robert Rodriguez is on record of saying, this is going to blow people's minds, yada, yada, yada. And like, it's also a series I don't know if too many people were actually looking for, but since we got it, bring on the crazy fan service, bring on, the balls to the wall action. Like he's done more in his 1.5 Mandalorian episodes than he's done in his 3 solo episodes. So like, they're really missing the mark, I feel, on what people wanted out of this character. They're bringing lore, they're building all this stuff, but like, I didn't need the Book of Boba to be a Tatooine lore building show. Like, it's just they're wasting so much time on some of that stuff that I feel it's not what I'm looking for anyway. When you're only getting, I know last week's was 50 minutes, but you're only getting like 35 minutes an episode, like some stuff. And I have no doubt the finale will probably be bananas, but one finale, episode 6, or one episode of a 6-episode season can't make up for the whole season unless it's truly crazy. But I don't know, maybe all the setup we're getting is going to get us there, but so far It's been a kind of a tough watch. All right, so a couple other things. Like, okay, so all the YouTubers had everyone believing that the girl with the robot arm was going to be Arden from the fighting game. It was going to be a dark Jedi who potentially has awoken after 1,000-year slumber, whatever it was. Yeah, no, don't get too excited about that, because what we have is basically a teeny bopper who's fighting over, it's not fair that your basic amenities of water cost too much and they can't find work. That's more or less all she was. They hint at something down the road, but it doesn't look like it. And her gang have a speeder bike chase, which was the most, for one, it was the slowest speeder bike chase I've ever seen in Star Wars. And secondly, like why are they riding like chromed out bright colored Vespas? Like, it did not fit the Tatooine aesthetic at all, and it doesn't even really fit the Star Wars aesthetic, right? Star Wars is a worn out, beat up universe, and these things look like they just came off the Vespa production line. So just really, again, not an exciting chase, and just really looks out of place. And then Boba, being his whole I'm going to respect everything and not hurt anybody, hires them. And somehow this group of, Tatooine, I don't want to call them kids. I'm sure they're older than teenagers. But anyways, they take down Black Chrysanthemum. It started off cool with him trying to assassinate Boba. And then when they take him down, like, I don't want to say easy, but it was fairly easy for how, like, big, built up, scary Black Chrysanthemum's supposed to be. So, a little underwhelming. That's how that fight concluded. Again, it's cool we get Black Chrysanthemum. It's cool. They nail his look, his sound, his aesthetic, but just underwhelming storyline with him. I can't help but think, though, with Boba giving him his life back, kind of like the Mandalorian did, where you get a character in an episode, and then at the very end, they come back and recruit them all. I'm assuming we're going to get Black Chrysanthemum in the end, in the finale, helping out. So, maybe there's better stuff coming with him. Let's see what else here. The other thing we have is the Rancor. So it's cool we're getting a Rancor. I thought the Rancor actually looked good for the little bits we saw of it. I don't know how I feel about this yet, but let me know. Was the Rancor too cuddly for people? I did like the Witches of Dathomir line drop. They're lining up all that lore and stuff like that with Rancors. I like that Boba said, I've ridden bigger beasts or whatever it was. So that plays into, the animator and the mythosaur stuff. So I liked all that, but the Rancor was very, like, the way they talked about it, like, it was just like a big cuddly dog. Again, I see it, but it's almost like they were saying the Rancors naturally are big cuddly dogs, not that you can domesticate them that way. Either way, we'll see how that plans out. And the more and more I thought about that last line, well, of course, Danny Trejo's the Rancor handler, and Danny Trejo typically doesn't play good characters, shall we say. So there was a line, I think, at the end where he says, don't worry, we'll see him again, or something like that. I can't help, and they've hinted that the Hutts, likely have other plans up their sleeve. So I can't help but think that the old Rancor is a Trojan horse and might try to devour Boba, but maybe Boba gets the best of him and rides him, because, hey, if Boba's not riding that Rancor in the last episode, I don't know if it's going to be as epic as they're building up here. We got a Dank Ferrick line drop. If my buddy Ged was on here, we'd have a chuckle about that, but he unfortunately was unable to join. And really, we get, it looks like so far the main villain is going to be the Pike Syndicate. It's obviously someone, they're in both timelines, which is interesting. So Boba obviously has history now with the Pikes, and they're the ones who are trying to assassinate him, and they're the ones the mayor has aligned with. And again, this whole thing, like, no one respects Boba. Like, this guy was supposed to be one of the most feared bounty hunters, and now everyone thinks he's like a legit joke. Like, I don't think people really knew, like, there wasn't probably too many survivors from Jabba's sail barge. I don't know how many people knew how he got hit into the Sarlacc, other than Star Wars fans actually watching the show. So it's interesting on how his reputation has completely changed. Like, I don't know why he just doesn't go in there and just pop the mayor. You know what I mean? Like, he says, I put you in that spot of power. I don't know why he doesn't just remove him from said power spot. So it is what it is. I really hope, there's 3 episodes left. I really hope they turn this around and figure it out, because so far the setup for whatever they have brewing has been a little underwhelming. So I'm going to give this a score, and this is probably my low score I believe I've given out. This is going to get a 6.7 from me. Again, like, if I have to try to dig to find things I like, it was nice seeing Black Chrysanthemum in action, I guess, even though it was underwhelming how he got taken down. And it was cool seeing a Rancor come back. But other than that, this show has some work to do ahead of it. So let me know in the comments, what did you think of this episode? And do you still have faith that they can stick the landing for this one? Peace out, everybody. We'll see you all in the next video.